The city was a whirlwind of activity. Skyscrapers scraped the sky, taxis honked impatiently. Amidst the chaos, on a cold, hard street corner, sat Michael. He was one face among many, seemingly just another homeless person blending into the background noise of the city. But Michael held a secret, one that separated him from the others who called the streets their home. People stepped over Michael as if he were invisible. The aroma of freshly baked bread wafted from a nearby bakery, a cruel reminder of the hunger gnawing at Michael's empty stomach. Michael pulled his thin blanket tighter around his shoulders, a futile attempt to ward off the biting wind. How easy it was, he thought, to get lost in the anonymity of the city, to become just another face in the crowd. Michael was a man of indeterminate age, his weathered face etched with lines that spoke of hard times and hard living. His clothes were threadbare, his shoes scuffed and worn. He clutched a worn cardboard sign that simply read, "Anything helps. God bless." Passers-by tossed spare change into the crumpled hat at his feet, their faces betraying a mix of pity and discomfort. They saw only what they wanted to see, a homeless man down on his luck, a burden on society. Michael observed the city's inhabitants with a detached curiosity. He saw the best and worst of humanity on display, often within the same city block. Behind Michael's tired eyes lay a secret. He wasn't homeless in the traditional sense. Michael was a millionaire, a self-made man who had built his fortune from the ground up. He owned a sprawling mansion in the suburbs, a fleet of luxury cars, and enough money to last several lifetimes. He had everything money could buy, but realized it had come at a price. The pursuit of wealth had consumed him, leaving him feeling empty and unfulfilled. Michael had decided to leave it all behind. He wanted to experience life from a different perspective, to see the world through the eyes of those who had nothing. He traded his designer suits for hand-me-downs, his mansion for a park bench. The transition had been jarring, to say the least. Michael's decision to live as a homeless man was not driven by a desire for self-punishment or some misguided sense of guilt. It was an experiment, a sociological study of sorts. He wanted to understand the human condition, to see if compassion could flourish in the face of adversity. He had chosen this bustling city for a reason. It was a place where wealth and poverty existed side by side, where the haves and have-nots rubbed shoulders on a daily basis. He observed the countless acts of indifference, the averted gazes, the hurried footsteps that seemed to say, "Don't bother me with your problems." But he also witnessed surprising acts of kindness. Each day on the streets brought new challenges, new encounters, new lessons in humanity. Michael met people from all walks of life, drug addicts, runaways, veterans struggling to readjust to civilian life. He listened to their stories, their hopes, their dreams. One day, a young boy, no older than 10, approached him cautiously. The boy clutched a crumpled dollar bill in his hand, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and compassion. "Here, mister," the boy said shyly, extending the dollar towards Michael. Michael was taken aback by the boy's generosity. This small act of kindness, offered with such innocence and sincerity, touched him deeply. "Thank you, son," Michael said, his voice thick with emotion. The boy smiled shyly and scampered back to his mother, who was watching from a distance. One dreary afternoon, as Michael huddled beneath a makeshift shelter of cardboard boxes, he met Sarah. She was a young woman, her face framed by a mass of unruly curls, her eyes radiating a warmth that belied the chill in the air. Sarah worked at a nearby soup kitchen, her days spent serving meals to the homeless and destitute. She had seen Michael around, his quiet dignity setting him apart from the other regulars. One day she decided to approach him. "Excuse me," she said gently. "I've noticed you around. You seem different." Michael hesitated for a moment, unsure how to respond. "I'm just trying to get by," he mumbled, avoiding her gaze. Sarah didn't press him. She simply smiled and said, "Well, you're always welcome at the soup kitchen. We serve a hot meal every night at 6. Michael found himself drawn to Sarah's kindness. Over the next few weeks, he became a regular at the soup kitchen, his friendship with Sarah blossoming over shared meals and conversations. One evening, as they were cleaning up after dinner, Sarah noticed a familiar-looking inscription on Michael's worn watch. "Where did you get this watch?" Sarah asked, her curiosity piqued. Michael froze. his secret threatening to spill out. He had been so careful, so diligent in maintaining his facade. "It's a long story," he said, a wry smile spreading across his lips. "A story for another time, perhaps." Sarah listened intently as Michael recounted his life story, his journey from rags to riches and back again. She was surprised, of course, but not judgmental. "Why would you do that?" she asked when he had finished. "Give up everything you'd worked so hard for?" Michael looked at her, his eyes filled with a newfound clarity. "I had to," he said simply. "I had lost my way. I had forgotten what it was like to be human, to connect with others on a deeper level." Sarah understood. She had dedicated her life to serving others, finding fulfillment in the simplest of gestures. Michael's experiment had come to an end. He had found what he was looking for, not in the grand gestures of the wealthy, but in the quiet acts of kindness from those who had so little to give. He returned to his former life, but he was forever changed by his experiences on the streets. He used his wealth to make a difference, supporting organizations like Sarah's Soup Kitchen, advocating for the homeless, reminding everyone he met that true wealth lay not in what they possessed, but in how they treated others.
We have reached the end of this wonderful story. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please do not hesitate to press the thumbs up, share this video, and subscribe for more of our content.